Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and explore one of the most thrilling and, frankly, highly controversial stories in the entire history of UFO lore. Welcome. Today we're unpacking a narrative that has absolutely captivated the internet for nearly 2 decades now. It's a story that perfectly blends the highest levels of government secrecy with literal interstellar travel, Project SERPO. For a lot of folks in the community, just hearing that name sparks intense curiosity and some pretty fierce debates. So take a second and just imagine this scenario. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and finding out that a major world government hit a multi-decade, highly classified mission to another world. A mission where a dozen humans were sent light years away and some of them never even came back. It sounds exactly like the plot of a massive Hollywood sci-fi blockbuster, right? But the thing is, this isn't pitched as a movie script, this is the central claim of the Project SERPO story. We're going to break down exactly what this mission supposedly entailed, where these wild claims actually come from, and ultimately how we separate the facts from the fiction.
All right, part 1. The beginning. The Roswell incident and beyond.
To really grasp how this massive piece of modern mythology kicks off, you absolutely cannot talk about Project SERPO without starting in the New Mexico desert. The year is 1947, the site of the legendary Roswell crash. Now, the SERPO narrative claims this wasn't just your standard crash where some weird debris was recovered. It alleges that an extraterrestrial being actually survived the impact. According to the lore, this survivor was kept alive for a while, and during that time, it somehow managed to initiate communication with its home planet. Fast forward a bit, and by the early 1960s, the US government supposedly gets a mind-boggling proposal, a top-secret exchange program between humanity and this alien civilization. Now, I should note right out of the gate that no official documents prove any of this actually happened, but this chain of events is the bedrock for the entire SERPO story.
Moving right along to part 2, the journey to planet SERPO.
To pull off this unbelievable mission, exactly 12 individuals were chosen. And we're not talking about some random lottery here. The source material claims these were highly trained US military personnel, rigorously selected for an unprecedented journey. They were allegedly put through intense training protocols designed to get them ready to survive in an environment totally alien to Earth. Just 12 humans, literally carrying the weight of representing our entire species.
So the lore states that in 1965, this elite team of 12 boards a highly advanced extraterrestrial spacecraft. Their destination? A planet called SERPO, which the story places way out in the Zeta Reticulum star system. The trip itself supposedly took several months to complete. Just imagine the psychological toll of a multi-month journey through deep space, leaving our solar system completely behind, heading toward an unknown world based solely on a clandestine backroom agreement.
Which brings us to section 3. Life in an alien world.
Mentally stepping foot onto that alien world with them, we find out the crew allegedly spent over 13 years living on this completely foreign planet. This wasn't a quick Apollo-style touch and go where they planted a flag, took some rocks, and came home. No, this was a long-term, decade-plus integration into an alien ecosystem and society. What's really fascinating to me here is the harsh, surreal reality the team supposedly had to adapt to just to survive. According to the accounts, planet SERPO was nothing like Earth. Picture looking up and seeing a sky with 2 suns, beating down with this extreme punishing heat that the human body is simply not built for. Add to that a vastly different gravitational pull, and you've got a recipe for severe physiological stress. The team basically had to rewire how they existed just to make it through a single day. Now, the cultural and technological exchange was supposedly incredible. The locals on SERPO were highly advanced, and they openly shared their tech and knowledge with the human crew. But it came at an incredibly high cost. The human team suffered terribly from those brutal conditions. The lore states that members of the 12-person crew succumbed to disease and the unforgiving environment. People died. And perhaps the most shocking twist of the whole thing, when the time finally came to pack up and return to Earth after 13 long years, some of the surviving members decided they didn't want to leave. They chose to stay on SERPO forever. It's a deeply emotional, super dramatic narrative arc.
Okay, section 4. How did this story emerge?
At this point in the explainer, we really need to take a massive step back and look at the cold, hard facts. We've been presented with this epic space opera full of classified space travel, alien alliances, and interstellar survival. But the reality of where this source material comes from is quite a bit different. Spoiler alert, this story did not come from a declassified Pentagon briefing. It wasn't unearthed through a Freedom of Information Act request. It actually emerged from a series of anonymous emails that were mysteriously leaked online in 2005.
The way this whole thing spread is practically a masterclass in internet virality. This anonymous source, claiming to be a retired government insider with top-secret clearances, just started feeding the story piece by piece, drip by drip into popular UFO forums. This gradual release kept everybody hooked, igniting these absolutely fierce debates between believers and skeptics. It birthed a massive modern myth practically overnight. But here is the major catch. Throughout all of these extensive forum posts and leaked emails, the anonymous author provided zero verifiable evidence. No documents, no physical proof, nothing that anyone could actually authenticate.
Let's look at Section 5, Researchers' Opinions and Scientific Truth.
When experts put this captivating internet lore under the microscope, it really highlights a glaring gap between rumor and scientific truth. The claims boast these perfect timelines, flawless execution of an interstellar mission, and this airtight government cover-up. But the evidence? Well, researchers have found zero official documentation. And more damningly, when they really dissect the text, they find major chronological errors and deep technical flaws in the physics and logistics described by the anonymous author. Basically, the narrative just falls apart under basic scientific scrutiny. The overwhelming consensus among researchers, historians, and ufologists alike is that Project SERPO is a masterful campaign of misinformation, or perhaps just a really collaborative piece of internet fiction. It's a modern conspiracy theory. Because there is not a single shred of official proof, it just can't be treated as a historical event. The facts dictate that it remains in completely unproven, though undeniably elaborate, claim.
So, that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to ponder. Even if all the evidence points to a fictional story, a brilliant digital hoax that managed to fool and fascinate thousands of people, it leaves us asking a deeper question about ourselves. Why are we so deeply drawn to these interstellar mysteries? Does our willingness to believe stem from this profound suspicion that there are, in fact, real secrets out there in the universe just waiting to be uncovered? Project SERPO might be a myth, but the curiosity it sparks is very real. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember to always keep questioning what's out there.
Don't forget to support us by liking and subscribing to the channel and activating the bell to receive all the latest true stories and real-life secrets.